All right, guys, today is the day. Today is National Header Day. Yes, we are putting on headers on the car, and I've made you wait until now to tell you what headers we're doing because it's been kind of a little bit of an up and down sort of thing. But today we're going to be putting on a brand new set of headers that have been jet hot coated to deal with up to 2,000 degrees because, yeah, these things... They're hot. So we want to keep that engine bay as cool as possible. We're going to go over all the details. But first, we got to start tearing some stuff apart in there. We got to remove a lot of this stuff to get room to get these headers in. So let's talk about the details before we start unbolting things. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today's an exciting day because we're finally getting to do something on the car that I've been wanting to do for a long time now. And there just hasn't been great options available for it until now. So you guys have probably heard me talk about it in the past. I had a set of American racing headers that I was going to put on the Z06, but I was having a slight fitment issue. So I'm kind of collaborating with David from DBM Racing on this because he's going to put the American racing headers on his car because he is also putting on a cat delete pipe, which makes fitment a lot better. I'm keeping the high flow cats on my car because I don't want the smell, and typically I haven't seen huge gains from just a cat delete over the high performance or sport cats. So I like the idea of the gains, of course, but I already got it with the sport cats and I don't got the smell. So I'm going to keep the sport cats. But today we're doing Concept 841 headers. Some of you guys out there called it because I like the sound of the Z06. I want to amplify that. I don't necessarily want to completely change it with a different kind of header. So we're going to talk a little bit about the American racing headers that I also had jet hot coated, but I'm passing on to David so he can do the install on his channel because they are super high quality headers, super high quality jet hot coating, and the Concept 841 are also super high quality with a super high quality jet hot coating. So we're going to kind of talk about both of these. I'm going to start this off with a cold start of the stock header system I have. It's stock headers, Soul Performance Sport Cats, and AWE exhaust. The next time we hear it, it's going to be Concept 841 headers with those other things that I mentioned. So, cold start, and then we're going to start tearing this thing apart. Are the Concept 841 headers. Now, what makes these different is the fact that they are equal length headers. So you can see this bumps out and does a curvy loopy-loo thing. That's to make sure that all of these are the exact same length coming into the collector here. So basically, these are equal length headers, and they're the only ones on the market that are. And they give a really distinct sound. Of course, we want to maintain that flat plane crank sound of the Z06. This is the way to do it. Now, these are also jet hot coated. 2,000 degrees this coating will protect up against. Basically, it's going to keep that heat in the header and pass it through the exhaust rather than letting it bleed out into the engine bay, robbing performance, hurting any material back there. Like you guys know, I have a bunch of carbon fiber in the engine bay, so this will help protect and keep everything cool. Jet hot is literally the name when it comes into coating these headers. I've seen other places out there that do it, but none of them are doing it at the level that jet hot is. These are 2,000 degree coatings, and it comes in a couple different colors. Unfortunately, black or anything like that wasn't really an option. This was pretty much as close to as what I could get to something that I would be okay seeing, but honestly, you're really not going to see it much in the engine bay anyway unless you have no dress up the way that I do. All the carbon fiber I have in there kind of covers these all up anyway. So I think the idea of these would actually look pretty good in the engine bay even if you did see it, but there's a couple different colors anyway. But at the end of the day, the protection here is what really matters, and the design of these things is really cool looking. It's unfortunate you're not going to see these, to be honest with you, but this is how the headers came. This with some heat blankets. We're going to weigh these in a second, as well as weighing the stock ones once we get them out, but I'm pretty sure these are going to save a little bit of weight as well. And they also came with some gaskets here. So no bolts though. So I'm guessing we're going to just reuse the stock bolts, which is fine, but definitely interesting that these didn't come with bolts of their own. Either way, let's go ahead and get these weighed, because the next step would be then, of course, weighing the stock ones. So it looks like roughly 15.5 pounds. All right, and we just weighed the passenger and driver side. Both of them show 15.5 pounds. So now we'll see how much the stock ones weigh once we get them out. All right, so here's where we're at so far, guys, with the header install. I took the wing off just to make things a little bit easier. I took the Venturi intake out, again, to give as much access as possible. But we also took off the painted intake manifold. Now, that does not have to come off. I did that because I wanted to swap it out with basically the same color, but just a slightly different intake. So not a huge deal here. Just ignore that. You don't have to do that. I just figured while it's off, I might as well make use of the extra room with doing these headers. So ignore that for the most part, but we're pretty much to the point now where we are ready to start removing these headers. Now, I still have to weigh the stock headers. We'll see what the difference in weight is, but you can see all that heat shielding on the stock headers. I have a feeling they're going to be heavier, and that jet hot coating on those is really going to come in handy. But anyway, I'm going to start removing the bolts from the headers to the cat. I'm not going to show a lot of this installation just because I don't want to say it's self-explanatory, but it's not super difficult. It's mostly just making the room to remove these things. I will point out anything that I feel is helpful or detrimental to the removal, but for the most part, this is what you want to remove. Other than that intake manifold, you want to remove the strut bars, of course, any carbon fiber dress up you have, the Venturi intake or your stock intake, obviously the carpet liner and everything. That's going to give us the most room for this installation. Now, once we start into these, I did already pop out the O2 sensor as well, so again, not a big deal, but obviously those have to come out. Once we get into the install, we may have to move this bracket right here, which is a 10 millimeter. Just unscrew that and you can move that around a little bit more. This will allow a little bit more room to get the passenger side one out, which I understand is the more difficult of the two. But either way, we're going to start unbolting the header from the cats here. I'm going to keep the cats on there. Those are my high performance or high flow cats from Soul Performance. So yeah, at this point, I'm just going to be turning some wrenches for a little bit, and then we're going to start actually removing these things. So we got the car up in the air. We have Dana stop by today to help us out with the headers. As you can see, you can go right up in that triangular hole where his hand's at, and that's where you get to the header bolts from underneath. So they're 13 millimeter. They're on there pretty tight, and they're tight the whole way out. So once you crack them loose, you can then use some sort of power ratchet or something to zip them out. But this is, believe it or not, the easy part, because after this, pulling the headers out from the top, not going to be easy.
5 minutes later.
All right, header bolts are out. Now we get to pull it out. Now it's time for the fun. All right, so yeah, put it down in there. Try to assist me with this.
Yep.
I'm going to have you grab the back part of it. We're going to try to rotate it out, if that makes sense. Watch the heads.
I'm trying not to fall.
There.
You got it?
Yeah. All right, that one wasn't too bad. So the passenger side one is worse, just so you know.
Okay.
All right, so Trunk Monkey Dana said that the driver's side one came out how easily?
Fairly easy.
Fairly? You used to
Very easy.
Very easy. That means the passenger side one's going to be a lot harder, so let's see.
Yeah, we're hoping for not.
Just watch those red valve covers.
I'm
trying to hold this stuff out of the way for you.
I'm caught on. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm caught on this.
Try, maybe, can you turn it at all in there?
If this wasn't in the way.
If you rotate this, like as you're picking it up, rotate it this way.
That's what I was trying to do. But it's getting caught down here.
Yeah, because
that lip.
But I'm saying this because you need to rotate it more this way. I didn't see you try to rotate it.
Oh, I was. I'll show you. Because I'm not afraid to try again. I just... See? I'm getting caught. Right there. This.
Here, let me hold it. Yeah, it's because of this. So see if you can push that down past it.
It's beyond it.
There you go.
Oh, you.
Hey, look at that. It wasn't that hard after all.
Nope, it was very easy. That's what we're going to go with.
All right, stock headers, 16.5. So what, we had what, 15?
15.5, so it's 1 pound lighter.
1 pound lighter, 2 pounds. 2 pounds.
40 horsepower.
40 horsepower. So those were actually not insanely difficult to get off. Now we'll see just how hard the Concept 841s are to get in. That's where the real trouble starts, I bet. All right, so with the new install, it's a little bit, I don't want to say easy because that's going to bite me, but it's different. So we're going to put in the far end bolts. So on the very far end here and then on the very far end here. And then when you put in the new gaskets, you can see they're slotted. So this will kind of slide down and lock into place behind the header. So we'll be able to put those bolts in the actual head of the car about halfway in, so there's a little bit of a gap, and then drop the header down, which also has these same kind of notches right here. So it'll like slide onto the bolt and hold it in place. That way you can put all the other bolts in with your hand. And in the meantime, before you tighten them down, you slide this gasket down in between as well. So the gaskets come with the Concept 841 headers. However, you do reuse the stock bolts. So we're going to put the Concept 841 driver side in first. Again, jet hot coated. You don't want to scratch these things up, and apparently you don't want to necessarily touch them with bare hands either. We have rubber gloves on to make sure that none of the moistures or oils from our hands get on those headers, because once they get hot, those moistures basically bake themselves into the coating. So the coating's not fully adhered, fully cured until there's a couple heat cycles on it. So you got to be careful putting them in. They will scratch, so be careful. Okay, we got to kind of rotate it in there.
I can't see that side. I can only see this. I'm trying not to hit anything. I'm on this.
Okay, lift it a little bit. That's got to go. All right, right there's one bolt on. All right, so we got the driver's side one started. So that's what it's going to look like in there, which is kind of cool. But like I said, you're not really going to see these anyway. We just have the very front and very back bolt on because this kind of slides down over top. We're going to go ahead and do the passenger side now. Try to watch that. Basically, you're going to have to push it down past that. Pull that up, yeah, there you go. See if you can pull that up over it.
It ain't gonna go any higher than that until we get it down some. I don't know.
All right, so we got the driver's side and passenger side done now. That passenger side was not fun. So the Concept 841 headers are, like I've said a couple times, equal length headers. And because of that, there's that extra little like curvy loop-de-loo thing happening on the header. And on the passenger side, that makes it very difficult to get it in. So I emailed Martin over at Concept 841 and he said it's all about the angle. Literally just keep trying it with different angles. And that's what we did. And we got it. But just so you know, it wasn't easy. Dana is down below putting the bolts in, but driver's side, passenger side, they're loosely attached at this point. So we got to get the rest of the bolts in and the gaskets. So that's what's happening down there currently. But otherwise, hopefully, the hard part is done. And that was pretty freaking hard.
1 hour later.
All right, so even though the headers are jet hot coated, I talked to the owner of Concept 841 and he still recommended using the heat blankets. So we are obviously done putting those on. Those are not super difficult to put on, but I would highly recommend putting them on after getting the headers in because that one over there is so tight. I don't see how you could do it any other way. So putting them on after is actually the easier of the two options, but now we're going to go ahead and just start putting everything back together. And then we finally get to hear this. Hopefully it was worth it. All right, she's done. So pretty much everything's put back together. I still have to put the spoiler on, but otherwise everything is buttoned back up, and that is what you can see of the header. So basically it is in there, it is jet hot coated, and it is also header or heat wrapped basically. So this thing should theoretically run cooler than stock did. So definitely interesting. Now it's time for the first cold start. We're gonna kind of see a little bit of a smoke show from what I understand because those heat blankets are gonna kind of warm up and break in and they're gonna smoke a little bit from what I understand. But don't worry about that. We're all about the sound today. Let's see how these things sound. but these things apparently really come to life under some RPM. So we're gonna let these heat blankets kind of break in. I can already smell them. The car's only been on for maybe 2 minutes. I can smell them kind of cooking. So we're gonna let those break in probably 2 or 3 different times before I really take it for a ride and get on it, because that's where these headers supposedly sing. So yeah, so far so good. No check engine lights, nothing crazy. I can smell those blankets baking, but that's normal. I was told that was gonna happen, so everything else is looking good so far. So we're gonna just give these a minute to break in, and then we are taking this thing for a ride. All right, guys, so I've been driving for about 20 minutes. And yeah, listen to this. Oh yeah. These things sound insane. Listen to that. This is like, oh my God, and the pops. This is like F1 style stuff now. I gotta put the window down a little bit so you can hear these. These are insanely good sounding. Oh my God, it literally sounds like an F1 car. It could be placebo, of course, but it feels like a little bit more acceleration as well. So I don't know. Something feels different. It sounds different for sure. Yeah. And these things are smoking. they're smoking good, but we're breaking them in. I'm gonna just take a nice 10-minute drive or so, go home, let them off gas a little bit, but we're gonna make some noise on the way. Listen to those pops, man. Those things sound insane. Oh my God. Yes. This is what this car was supposed to sound like. This is it. Oh my God, that's fantastic. I love it. Oh God, this car is, every single time we put a mod on it, it gets better and better. I freaking love it. And it feels a little bit peppier. Now, I'm guessing probably 10, 15 at most horsepower from these things, but I feel like I can feel it. We'll find out soon enough. Wow, guys, these headers are the real deal. They sound so freaking good. Oh, nice pops and crackles. And the best part, no kazoo sound. So that was an issue with the stock headers, I guess, through the tunnels especially. If you revved it high and then just let it come down, it sounded like a kazoo. These fixed that issue and just sound good the whole way through. Oh, yeah, this is great. Oh my God, you hear the pops? Heck yeah. Who knew? And the best part is, I know I'm going to get some people out there saying, well, what about it cruising, Justin? Well, let's put it in drive. I don't even hear them. And that's with the baffles open. I could close the baffles on my AWE exhaust and make it even quieter. That's a win-win to me. You want loud, you get loud. You want quiet, you can get quiet. But who likes it quiet? Oh, yes. Oh my God, yes. Yes! Oh God, these sound so freaking good. And I can see him smoking back there, so we're gonna take it home, let her cool off, and then take it out again. Kind of break these in gently. Those heat blankets do need a little bit of a break-in. But I mean, here I am cruising at 3,500 RPM at third gear, and even that, it's not bad. However, if you want crazy, you downshift. And you get crazy. I love it. Wow. Wow. From a set of headers, man, I would not have guessed it. I know the headers on this car are already pretty well designed from Chevy, but this Concept 841 setup, they dialed this thing in specifically for the Z06 sound. That's too much. I can get it to do it. Second gear at about 5,000 RPM, I let off the gas. I love it. Yes. Yes. I can only imagine what my wife's thinking right now. I pull in the driveway and my car, it literally looks like it's on fire. When you took your car for the first drive with header blankets, yeah, she's smoking. Smoking! Seriously though, guys, you gotta let these things break in. So we took about a 20-minute drive-ish. Then we're gonna let these cool down so they're not smoking anymore. Take another little drive, just kind of break these things in properly. But yeah, they are they're a little warm after that drive. Either way, guys, this thing sounds absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, it gets rid of that stock kazoo sound at high RPM when you would downshift. So these, to me, huge win. 100% the header you should go with. The sound is fantastic. I think these are the ones to go with. Concept 841, they're priced just about the same as the other headers you'll find on the market. I believe these are exactly $3,000, and they come with the blankets or the the heat shielding basically. And that is the only header on the market that comes with that I know of for the C8 Z06. So definitely an interesting setup, or dare I say concept. But either way, really huge thumbs up to Martin over at Concept 841. I was on the phone with him a couple different times just to verify a few things, but really responsive, really good customer service here, and of course these things sound freaking phenomenal. So like I said, we're gonna let these cool down a little bit more and go for another couple drives. All right, so we've parked. The headers sound great. The combination of this exhaust, which is now Concept 841 headers, Soul Performance Sport Cats, and an AWE exhaust with the baffles open, of course. The only thing we haven't done is some revs. So I got my windows down. Let's rev this thing up. Not bad. Oh my God. The cracks and pops and crackles and it's all good. Oh, it sounds like it whips like a crack at the very top. This is a win. This is a win. And then we got to do one with the windows open too. Listen to the way this thing pulls. It like snaps when you shift. That snapping sound. Oh, it's wild. I hope you can hear it. Oh my God, this is too much. This is gonna get me in trouble. that's pretty much going to do it for the video, guys. If you liked the setup here, stay tuned for what's coming next. I am going to dyno these to see if they make any power. I can already tell you my butt dyno says they make about 10 to 15, but we'll see what happens on the actual dyno. If you liked it, smash the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do, because I got tons of dyno and tuning coming for this car you're not going to want to miss. And as always, you know what to do. Stay obsessed.